Today we're talking about Louis Vuitton Meteor. Now, Louis Vuitton have some really popular fresh fragrances, like, I'd say number one would be Imagination, two probably Afternoon Swim. Those two are really popular, fresh, summery fragrances, and they're both fantastic. Meteor doesn't get as much hype, as much popularity as those two fragrances, and when I first got this, by the way, this is a full bottle, but this is like one of the refill ones. I've had numerous bottles of this because of my sample website, Visionary Fragrances. We've gone through a few of these, so it's not like this is a brand new bottle and I've only smelt it a few times. I've had this for about 2 years, Meteor, and I've worn it many, many times, so I do know the fragrance quite well. But when I first got Meteor, it wasn't a fragrance that I gravitated to immediately and thought it was fantastic. When I sprayed, or when I first tried Imagination, I knew that it was a really amazing fragrance and I loved it straight away. With Meteor, it wasn't quite like that. It was a little bit bland and boring at first. I didn't really understand why it was such an expensive fragrance, and I thought it was maybe a waste of money. But over the last 2 years, I've really grown to love this fragrance, and although I don't love it as much as Imagination, it's different to Imagination, and I really love having this type of scent profile in my collection. Right, so let's spray it on. It was actually my scent of the day today, so I wore it after my shower anyway, so I'm just respraying it now. This is, I talked about having a shower. This is the best after the shower fragrance that I have ever tried. Sometimes when, in my case today, I went for a long run and I had a really nice hot shower, and sometimes after a shower you want just the perfect fragrance to wear to really invigorate you and make you feel incredibly clean and fresh. And I haven't found a better version of an after the shower fragrance than Meteor. This is just so incredibly sharp and fresh and soapy that it works so well in that situation, and because of that scent profile, it kind of comes across as being soapy. So the main notes in here, the main notes in Meteor, you're going to get this peppery, sharp bergamot in the opening, not like a juicy, zesty fruit. It's more a citrus that smells very clean. You've got bergamot, you've got black pepper, you've got nutmeg, you've got neroli, and then you have vetiver in the base. Now I'm starting to move away from talking about fragrances that smell masculine and feminine, and I'm going to do a video soon about this and my reasons why. But when we have vetiver in a fragrance, like Meteor, this one does smell typically masculine to me, because I think vetiver can be a fragrance note that does smell masculine. Think of fragrances like Terre de Hermes. That's a fragrance that's based around orange and vetiver. So vetiver has this, especially in men, in fragrances that are designed for men, it plays a role that makes fragrances smell really masculine. But I think Meteor could smell really good on a woman as well. And I might actually get my girlfriend to wear this and see how it smells, because in my video I'm going to do about this topic, I'm going to give you some interesting arguments why fragrances don't have a gender, because I'm going to give you some interesting points in my next video about this, why I think that is the case. So it's the pepper, the neroli, and the nutmeg that work really well in here, because I love the smell of black pepper. I love the kind of clean spiciness that gives you. Whereas you have a spice like cinnamon, it's warming. You feel like the warm spice. With black pepper, for me, it smells like a clean, fresh spice, and it works really well in Meteor. I love the mix of the pepperiness, the nutmeg, and the neroli. Now, when I said this smells soapy, I want you to imagine that you are in a outdoor market in Italy somewhere, and you've come across a stand that smells homemade soaps. You buy one, you take it home, and you have your first shower with it, and it is the nicest, most natural, cleanest smelling soap that you've ever tried. That is what I want you to imagine when you think of Meteor. That is exactly how this smells to me. Occasions and versatility. I would say Meteor is extremely versatile, and it's really one of those fragrances you can wear to any situation. It works really well on a date night because you want to smell really clean and invigorated on a date in some occasions. It doesn't always have to be a warming, cozy scent on a date night. Works really well in a professional setting and in the office. Any situation, Meteor has you covered. Performance. I think Louis Vuitton does something to their fragrances. They make them with some, certain types of ingredients, aroma chemicals, to make them perform really well. On my skin, most Louis Vuitton fragrances perform really well. They have this way of elevating off the skin. They jump off the skin and they just give a really nice projection. You know, whenever I ask my partner what she thinks of the fragrance I'm wearing, she can always smell it really strong when it's a Louis Vuitton fragrance. So Meteor has great performance as well, the same as most of the Louis Vuitton fragrances I've tried. Alternatives. I'm going to give you 3 alternatives I found in my collection. A cheap one is Azzaro Chrome, the original. This smells very similar to Meteor, and this is a fragrance you can buy a big bottle for a really cheap price. Doesn't have the performance, but it's a fantastic smelling fragrance. Sauvage Parfum is another really good alternative to Meteor. It doesn't have the same smell exactly, but it smells really clean. It smells really smooth and quite refined. That's Sauvage Parfum. And also Prada L'Homme, the original. This has way more, this is more of an iris focused kind of clean soapy fragrance than Meteor, but this is a really good alternative, and this will work in a similar way to Meteor. Whenever I talk about a fragrance, I'm going to tell you whether I would buy it again if it wasn't for my website, visionaryfragrances.com, where we sell samples of every fragrance that I talk about on here. So if it wasn't for my website, visionaryfragrances.com, I would still buy this again if I could afford it, because it's a fragrance I really love, and I think it beats most of my other clean, versatile fragrances. So I'll just save up and buy this rather than a lot of the cheaper other alternatives. My rating of Meteor is a 9 out of 10. I think this is almost perfect. Very expensive, I know. Louis Vuitton fragrances are expensive, unfortunately. But you do get a fantastic fragrance for the money. And I think this is a really excellent, soapy, clean, versatile scent. And it does it better than any other fragrance I've tried in this category. So my overall score for Meteor is 9 out of 10. Now let me know, do you agree with me, or do you think Meteor is a bland and unnecessary fragrance that's overpriced? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye.